Welcome, everybody, to the Healing Place podcast. I am your host, Teri Wellbrock, and I am so grateful that you're here. Before we dive into today's conversation, I want to share some beautiful news. The Healing Place podcast has been ranked number 11 in the top 15 healing podcasts for 2026 by PodRanker. And to be included alongside the likes of Oprah and Dr. Tara Brach is something I truly receive with humility and gratitude. This recognition belongs to the entire community, to every guest who has shared vulnerability, and to every listener who shows up ready to grow, reflect, and heal. Whether you're walking through grief, trauma recovery, addiction healing, personal growth, or spiritual expansion, this is your space. A space for compassion, a space for courage, a space for healing. And I am so glad that you're here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for inviting others. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting, loving, liking, leaving your reviews, joining me on my Facebook page of the Healing Place podcast, connecting on LinkedIn, wherever it is we connect. Again, I am so grateful for you, and this wouldn't have happened without you. So thank you. All right, let's dive into today's episode. Welcome, everybody, to the Healing Place podcast. I'm your host, Teri Wellbrock, and so very happy to have with me today Cindy Myers, and I'm going to read you here. She is intuitive energy healer, speaker, and workshop facilitator, and I love all of this, specializing in emotional wellness, eco-spirituality, animal communication, and empath empowerment. So I'm excited to learn about all that. Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited to talk to you.
Oh, yes, for sure, for sure. I was just telling you, Sammy, for the longtime listeners know Sammy's my co-host. She's here. She's my Labradoodle who's, gosh, just turned 11 in July. And so I always say I love the energy that Sammy brings to the show. Like she's just the chill, sweet. She was a registered therapy dog. We volunteered with kids in schools for years and years and years. And she's just got that sweet demeanor. So I think she sends that beautiful energy out.
Well, I'm sitting next to one of my dogs, Bailey, who we are a therapy team, and we go weekly to a middle school to visit with kids. So
Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
we have that in common. Yes.
Yes, that's what we would do. We would go once a week and yeah, volunteer with kiddos. And it was so wonderful. And just to watch them work their magic, right?
Yep. When I was studying to be a therapist many moons ago, I had a different dog and I took him as a puppy. And I would say, I bring him in and I worked with kids and I just brought him in and then get out of the way and let him. And the kids, their improvement happened so fast because of him. So it's just, you
Yes,
got to park your ego.
it's so true. Like it is a matter of just kind of stepping out of the way. Like I remember a few aha moments where I said, "Oh my gosh, this dog is communicating without any words." And it tears me up. Like I got a little choked up for that just a second there to watch these kids from tears just streaming down their little faces to giggling and laughing and loving on Sammy by the end of it. And just watching that transition happen, even in just 15, 20 minutes sometimes. It was
Oh,
beautiful.
yeah. Yeah, there's a connection. And I have alpacas and they're the same. It's very similar. They're different, but kids with you know, different issues and adults, anxiety, anything like that, spend 5 minutes with the alpacas and their energy, which is
Yeah.
troubled kids. And it was interesting to see the kids that had a certain behavior or personality type would find the alpaca most like themselves. And they would totally connect. It was just, and I was not setting that up. As a matter of fact, it was often an alpaca that was a challenge, spitty or it's not very friendly. So I would try and steer them away from that because I wanted them to have a positive experience. And next thing I know, there they are in their forehead to forehead. I went,
Oh.
okay, well, get out of the way.
Yes, get out of the way. It's so true. And you're right. Like I love that you brought up even adult because I I grew up in an apartment in a suburb of a city in Cincinnati. And so I never had exposure to farm animals or anything. So the first time as an adult with children in Tennessee, was exposed to, hey, let's go horseback riding. And I said, they have giant heads and very big teeth. I don't want to be anywhere near a horse. I was like, I was so terrified. But they ended up putting me on this horse named Goober, who was the sweetest little soul in all the world. Well, fast forward to a couple weeks ago here on Hilton Head Island. Um, I'm driving along, and in one part of the island, there's so forgetting the word, where horses live. Anyway, so I stopped at stables. There you go. That's the word. So I stopped. Something made me stop, and I pull into the driveway, and I got out, and I just walked up to the fence, and from across the yard, it's dirt and there's fences and everything. The horse looks at me and just comes walking on over, and here he comes. And I looked at his name, and he had it like right here. He had like a leather strap, and it said Woody. And so he was oh, why am I drawing blanks? The big giant ones, Clydesdale. So
Oh.
he was ginormous. He was so big. And so I ended up just like putting my hand on him and just could feel, like you said, everything just kind of went, "Ooh." And I could just, and he just stood there, and he let me just love on him and pet on him. And all my fear of horses went out the window, even though he was this ginormous horse, and he was just so gentle and loving and so kind. And for whatever reason, I needed him. And I guess he called out to me, and I decided, all right, I guess I'm
You
pulling in.
listened. You listened. And that's really what I teach is like just if something is getting your attention, take that moment, that pause. It's not usually that much out of your life time-wise. The healing you get from it or the message you get from it. And I bet you Woody downloaded other information that you don't even realize occurred, but you're going to get aha moments and different, or you can recall that energy again next time you feel intense or that anxiety or busyness that is kind of getting toxic. You're going to remember Woody. And I mean, I just saw your energy shift as you were telling how you connected with them and you just kind of got quiet. Your energy just went, oh.
Yeah, it's so true. And I love the idea of recall and just being, we went to dinner the other night, and we happened to be again in that part of the island. As we drove by, I instantly was like, where is he? And I was just scanning, and I was like, "Oh, Woody, hi, buddy." And I was so excited. I was like a little kid inside, because here's this like my new friend, Woody the horse.
Could get a better one.
No, he was amazing. He's so cool. I need to go visit him and say hi and tell him thank you again. So,
Yeah.
yeah, well, that's awesome. So now, yeah, let's talk to us a little bit more about. I've not had many people. I think I've had one other person maybe come on in the 8 years, um, to talk about animal communication. And so you say you can teach people to do so?
hmm Yeah, I have classes that I teach several times a year online on Zoom. I can teach you on Zoom how to do it. And I use my alpacas to begin with. And they have they're like horses where they have big energy. And that herd instinct is a little easier to read than your own animals. And your own animals are really hard to read anyway. It's easier to connect with somebody else's. But in the class, we actually use your animals for the class. You connect with them a little bit, but other people, another person will be the one that really taps in and you get to be the validator. So it's kind of fun in that you get to work with your own animals, but also the alpacas. And I keep the class nice and small so everybody has some individual time with me guiding them. And so far, knock on wood, I've been 100% in getting people to connect with an animal.
Oh my gosh,
and
that's
they've experienced
amazing.
it. The technique is super easy to learn. And so it's just, and then after that, then if I wish I had a little more time in the class, because I would love to process more of what their feelings were like for the first time. I've had people just crying because it's so emotional to be able to connect in that intuitive heart to heart way with an animal. It's just, it is lovely.
Yes. Well, and I know personally for me, uh, being able to tap into my intuitive abilities has just grown exponentially over the past couple of years. And it was once that almost like the switch was turned on, or I was at least cognizant that it was in the on position, that I all of a sudden, yeah, being able to, and I tell people now all the time, I'm super proud of the fact that I talk to trees. And I will literally stop, no matter who I'm with, to be like, hold on a second, because I will feel a tree not talking to me, but just calling out, like saying hi. And
Mhm.
so I will always pause and put my hand and just be like, oh my gosh, thank you. You are so beautiful. And I just try to compliment them and just thank them for being there. And it's just, to me, it's been such a gift. So wow. Well, I mean, thank you again for teaching people how to do it, because I know it certainly brightens my life.
Well, I know that when I didn't realize I was intuitive and could communicate with animals, or even that I was an empath. I didn't have a that term to even describe when I started knowing I was trying on all these different things that never felt right. And then when I discovered the term empath and the definition of it, I went, "Oh, that's me." Okay, now I have a way to describe a little bit of who and how I operate and why I am the way I am, which was really helpful. But and so I struggled all for a long time when my intuition came on because I was working for the Navy at the time, and I had a clearance, and I didn't want to lose my clearance by
Yeah.
sharing what I was experiencing because I was picking up people's pain, physical pain. And they come into my office, I would be like, "Oh, I have a really bad headache." All of a sudden, I didn't a second ago, and then they leave, and it was gone, and I was like, and it happened so often that I went, there's something weird happening here. And it's a little scary, but I didn't have anybody to talk to. And so my progress was really kind of slow and painful because I had to do it all in in a vacuum, kind of in my own world. And so once I got away from that environment, I quit and I found alpacas and I could go out with them every single day and practice with them. And it was like, it just exploded. And that's when well, it was a little before I got alpacas that I learned I could start communicating with animals. And I went, oh gosh, this is so cool. This is so cool. But I had no idea that I'd get to a point where I could help others. I just thought, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be really cool if I could take this gift or whatever you want to call it and use it to help animals or use it to help people? And it was just kind of an intention that I never really thought would happen. And then here I am.
Here you are.
And,
Yes.
and but I was determined as part of that gift, then it was like I got to give back. And so I need to help others in a lot of one of the things I really love doing is when somebody's opening up to their intuition, I don't want them to be in a vacuum. Let me help them and their let them grow faster than if they were trying to figure it all out by themselves. Because that is a slow process because our lizard brain, as I call it, gets in the way of doubting us and questioning us. And then you have other people's voices if you share it to the wrong person doubting you and questioning you. And so that just makes it so much harder. And having a community like what you've built with this wonderful podcast and other places, I like to share that information with people so that they can find a community where they can practice and share their experiences. And instead of saying poo-pooing it, they go, oh wow, they question it or validate it or share their own experiences. And it helps strengthen the language of it because intuition comes in, to me, it comes into metaphor. or I can feel a download coming in. And if I get a download from spirit, it's like right here in my third eye, and I go, oh, I got a download. I don't know what it means for a while, so I'll just hang in there because it takes a while for it to hit the language center. But if it comes in the other part of my head, in the back of the head, I can usually translate it fast. It's
Oh,
immediate.
that is
So
so fascinating because,
so even sharing that little bit of
yeah,
information helps people go, oh, because they get frustrated. I go, I could feel something happening, but I don't have the language. And I go, okay, you're right on track. You're not going to get it right now. It's like that little spinning thing on your computer when you get a software update. It takes time for it to all filter in and connect, and sometimes it hangs up and you got to reboot. So there you go.
yes. And I have felt my, did something recently and it was some acupuncture that I was having done. And I said, is it normal for my like third eye to go like it was almost like, and then I could almost feel an exchange happening, I guess.
You
And
got to download.
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my gosh. And my other spot is I feel my soul is here
Mm,
and I will feel an expansion start to happen and I can feel it filling. And so yeah, that's
mhm.
fascinating. Yeah. Interesting.
So you're an empath too. You're using a lot of language of feeling. So,
Yeah. Yeah, for
and
sure.
that's the other thing I can help people with in their intuition is, you know, there's lots of different kinds of intuition. No, not everybody's an empath. Not everybody's clairvoyant. They don't know what they are or what their strongest intuition is. We can use all of the different intuitive senses, and I know I have other ones that come in. My weakest ones is my nose and taste because I have that in day world stuff. I don't have a broad spectrum of being able to parse out different senses and tastes. It's a very simple taste bud and simple nose sense. But, that doesn't mean it, what is an animal's nose? It's their strongest. A dog, a cat, their nose is really strong. So they'll quite often try to communicate to me something smells. And if I had a better nose, I might say, oh, it's this. That did you just get a new, at Christmas time with people putting out new candles and stuff. And that can be upsetting because their nose is so much stronger that
Oh
those
yeah.
senses, those smells are overpowering, and it's a change in their environment and they're confused, and it can make them even not feel good, and they're calling me going, something's not right with my animal. And I go, well, is something new? Did you put up a new scent? Because they're telling me something is with their nose. And they go, I've been doing candles. I go, are they scented candles? That's probably it.
Wow,
So
that's fascinating to me. And as you spoke, I thought to myself, our poor little dog Max, we have a little schnoodle, and ever since we've moved to from Ohio to South Carolina, he's just had ear infections after ear infections, and we've done
allergies.
natural, we've done all the things, and sometimes he has to get a shot just because it's so bad. And um and I've always said, I think he's allergic to pine because there's pine needles everywhere and he's walking around on pine needles and then he'll come in and lick his paws. And he just, so I was like, maybe we need to get him little booties, but there's just pine, 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 pine everywhere. Well, this year we decided since we've lived here, we've not had a real tree in the house. We had an artificial tree for Christmas and we got a real tree this year because our daughter said, hey, let's get a real tree. And it just now dawned on me. I'm like, oh, his little ears are so bad today. And I'm like, oh, because we brought a pine tree into the house. I need to tune into Max and see, buddy, is it pine?
Well, you can use a sway test, use a muscle test.
Oh yeah, I do the sway test for myself for like foods. Um, I'll
Use the
ask
same
about
one
foods.
for him and ask him if the tree is bothering his body.
Oh, that's fascinating. And do I hold him while I do it?
No,
No.
you don't
Okay.
have to. You
Okay.
can, but you don't have to.
Okay.
I work with animals all over the world, so I'm not holding them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of
Oh,
them don't like it. So, no,
yeah, that's fascinating. Well, thank you for
my
that. I will.
alpacas do not like me holding them.
Oh,
Just ask a yes and no question.
yeah. Yeah,
That's what I
that's
teach. Mhm.
very, very cool. I love that. And I mean, Sammy and I are so connected. We talked before I hit record that we both do therapy dog work with kids. Um, and I know in going through that, well, just from the beginning, she and I were just like, we're just soulmates. Like it's just, we're soul connected. And she can just walk up to me and just look at me, and I'll say, no, you just ate, you can't have carrots right now. And then I'll give in and be like, all right. And I'll go and I'll get like some blueberries and carrots, and she'll eat the carrots and not eat the blueberries. And so for me, I'm always like, oh, she did tell me that if she wanted carrots. Like she was like, and it's to me, it's so cool because here's this dog telling me, and now I'm just open up to it. Like, oh, okay. She's telling me. Like, I know, not with words, but I know what she wants.
It's a knowing.
Yeah, yeah, very, very cool. So one of the things, eco spirituality, is that kind of what we've been circling around here? What is
hmm
that?
Yeah, it's a way of growing your authentic self that uses nature and animals, that the outside universe versus doing other modalities, and there's lots of ways of growing yourself and growing your intuition and finding who you true, your sole purpose in life. But that to me, going outside, listen, because spirit has, it doesn't usually talk to us in our language, and says, hello, Terry, do this, and you hear the English language and give you a nice neon sign saying, go this way. They use metaphor, they use dreams, they use all sorts of ways of helping us understand what's going on in our painful lives, in our wounded selves that needs healing, but also, even when we get to that point and we know that this isn't working for me, but I don't know where to go, nature, then source goes and says, well, here's a little sign here. Listen, here's something else. Are you listening? And it's a way of, if see geese flying overhead, that's a perfect example. During the pandemic, one of the first animals that came to my farm was some geese. And I have a Great Pyrenees who does not like big birds, and they're not allowed to land anywhere on my farm. But he was in another area, and these two geese landed in my field, which never happens. And I was out there doing my chores, and I thought, oh, I'd love to give them some energy work. Went out, offered them some energy, and they were looking for bugs and things in this pasture. And I communicated to them, I go, if you go over to this pile over there, there's some big, fat, juicy worms where my compost, where I dump my alpaca manure. And so I picture to them where to go. And I walked over.
Oh,
And then, I did some more energy work on them. And I asked them if for any signs or anything they'd like to share, wisdom. And I saw a spinning compass. And I went, yeah, that is how it feels right now, that everything, there's no direction. Nobody knows what's going on or what to do. It's just all new, the shutdown, everything like, ah. And then I heard, follow your true north. Bless you.
excuse me.
Follow your true north. And I saw the compass stop. And I went, oh, yeah, just stay focused on what I do. And that just made all the difference. So now, whenever my lizard, as I call it, lizard brain, which is my fear brain, takes over and I start up, go into my worry thoughts, the obsessive thought, whatever it is that's spinning out of control that is unproductive, and I'm outside, geese fly overhead. And isn't even at the right time of the year, but I will have geese fly and they're flying in the wrong direction. They're flying in the opposite way they should be going. And that is my reminder, oh, my mind is not in its true north. And then as soon as I'm aware of that and I refocus, they turn around and fly the other way.
That's so so cool. You know
And
what I've
so we
been
can use nature to ask us, and ask us for signs. Am I in the right place? And we get them because it's the spirit can say, hey, go, go over there and talk to her, you know, oh, here, she's thinking about something and she's struggling, or she's trying to figure out the right way, or, is she on the right path or not? I'm going to send you something. Here's a dream. Here's something. Here in your meditation, you'll see a tree, and that tree has a strong meaning for it. Go look it up. What does that tree mean? Because there's stuff in that. There's no coincidence happening. And you can find important messages that are guiding you that is either, and I recommend people look at the positive meaning, then you look it up that yes, I'm on the right path. This is but also think about, well, where may I not be? Where am I still stuck? Where is my blockage? Because that's where the real healing occurs then. Yeah, I like having that. Yeah, here's a night, here's a week, you're on the right path. But what is that's like the geese? Hey, you're headed in the wrong direction. Get yourself back on track. Oh yeah, I'm not thinking my thoughts are in the yucky zone, the toxic area. Let me clear that and go into what is something more positive and productive that feels better. And so always look at the positive and the contrary of the meaning. And now you're getting to the healing of it. But nature is, and it's safer. It's just safer than always looking. I get bored just thinking about myself. I'm just not into all about me. And so then I use that information because it's so much more interesting than talking about me. Then I can talk about, oh, this baby cub came in a dream and it was so cool. What a powerful dream. And then I looked it up and I did this and then it led to this and then I wrote about it and I got such lovely responses from people going, oh, that just helped me so much. And now that fills up that thing that you described, that part in your heart soul, because now it's not just about me, it's the collective. And that's used as the collective to help the individual. So it all ripples out. And then it turns and it helps nature because we start appreciating our environment around us. We start respecting it. So instead of thinking we're on like that old mentality that it's owed to us or some darn thing, we're part of the collective. We're part of the whole environment. We're interconnected with nature. We're interconnected with all the life, with the universe around us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how I use eco spirituality and my definition of it.
Well, and I think it's beautiful. And I have to tell you, I've been seeing hawks like crazy, so much so that I've started taking pictures. And so I looked it up and it's like, oh, you're seeing things clearly. And so all of the things that, like you said, reading, I read the positives and I can't remember what the negatives said, but I was so resonating with like the positives of it. Um, but I love the idea and I'm going to implement that of just pausing and asking them, is there anything you want to share with me and just invite their wisdom? Um,
Yes, because they do give you that individual sometimes, not always, but sometimes it just is that kind of you're on the right path, look it up. But then there are occasions where they give you a personal connection that is, yeah, you're headed in the wrong direction, or yes, or you need to fly higher. Your vision is still maybe not high enough. Go higher, look
oh,
broader.
yeah. Oh, I love that. That's so true. Yeah, that really hit home. All right. All right. There was something else I was going to tell you. Oh, yeah. So again, I love what you're doing and I love your messages because nature is one of my favorite grounding tools. I do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 mindfulness practices out there. And I know for me, I was coming up doing something. I was in a hurry, running, running, running. I scared a squirrel so bad. And he jumped and he ran to this tree, but he was peeking around the tree at me. And so I just stopped and paused. And I said, honey, I am so sorry. You're okay. I'm not going to hurt you. I promise you're okay. I just started singing to him. And then he came around the tree. And I was like, okay, he's calmed down. Like I just took a moment to just like both of us to be like, oh, okay, hold up a minute. And to me, like you're right, that's what I've learned to appreciate and just be in the moment, be in the now, and just take that pause from my crazy running that I was doing, that I scared him and he scared me. And there you
He would have run even further if I sang, but
go. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure people around were like, what is that noise?
my alpacas spit at me if I'm singing.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I find hearts everywhere. And I think I told this story recently, but I'm telling it again. Um, I was hiking with a friend, and we were trudging up a hill, and I was running out of air. And so I was like, hold on a minute, I gotta catch my breath. So I'm just standing there, and I now there's leaves and trees. We're in the woods. We're in a nature center that was near our home. And I just happened to look to my left, and on a leaf right next to where I paused to catch my breath was the tiniest little heart that an insect had chewed. And I turned to my friend Chris and I was like, look, a heart. She was like, how do you find these hearts everywhere? Because I will literally find them everywhere. But it's almost like someone is saying, hey, 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 look, 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 look. And something's excited and pointing. And then I look and I'm like, oh, a heart. That's so awesome. Thanks. Whether it's a rock on the ground or a cloud floating by or whatever it may be. But it is fascinating to me that nature sends me a lot of hearts, which
So
is,
next time you see a heart, do your pause and say your gratitudes and ask if they have anything else to say to you.
I will. I will. Thank you for that lesson.
Because that is
That's,
quite often they're trying to get our attention too and want us to know something more. And we forget to ask and they go, okay. They're not gonna, they'll try again by sending you another heart, but they'll just say, okay. But
yeah.
ask, because there's quite often a little bit more. That's where you go to that higher vision.
Yeah, thank you for that. I've never paused to ask. I've always just sent out the gratitude and been like, "Oh my gosh, it's so awesome," taking a picture, and then that's it. Yeah, very cool, very cool. All right. Empath empowerment, is that also something then you teach folks is, which I guess we've kind of talked about that as well. And do you have courses that you do, or how do you connect with folks
Well,
and
I have individual sessions. A lot of times they need more individual attention because it depends where they're at. And so I coach them individually on just how it's just it's hard to explain what it is to be an empath to non-empaths because you feel so much and you experience, I'm both a physical and an emotional empath, so I feel people's physical discomforts as well as their emotional stuff. And knowing when it's yours and when it's not yours can be really challenging. And so I coach how to have boundaries and tools, but then how to use it to your benefit too. And to me, when the tip that I like to give most often for empaths and for anybody, but is going places can be challenging. Going to the grocery store can be hard because everybody's emotions are out there, and having my shield so tight is exhausting. So I learned that if I send the frequencies of love and above, love is kind of actually not the highest frequency. There's a lot of other ones that much higher. So I just say love and above, love, joy, gratitude, all those nice, wonderful frequencies. I send ahead of myself. And people that are vibrating at a lower frequency, the fear kind of emotions, um, it's a mismatch. And so they don't like it and they get out of there. It's like somebody's in their personal space. It's how uncomfortable it is being in your personal space. So it's like having somebody's energy that they don't care for because it's not playing nicely with theirs. And so they go away. And so when I get to the store, it's all nice people. And so then I wind up having really a nice interaction. People hold the door open, they do nice things, or in line, there's a conversation. Somebody strikes up a conversation, they're more friendly. It just is more positive and it's less exhausting. So having a tool, to me, that's more of an offense than a defense of having. Then if somebody sneaks in, and if somebody sneaks into that, they quite often are a sociopath or a narcissist. And I go, okay, you snuck in because they don't seem to connect with that or be bothered by it. I'm getting away. That's when my shields go up and I go, time to go out of here because
Yeah.
this is an unhealthy, toxic person I don't want to be around. So then the awareness is better. And then there's people that are kind of in between when you say let up and above, then guess what? They raise up. So you help people without even knowing it.
That was my question. That's where I was going to go with was, so for the ones who say, nah, no, and go off, they bounce off that bubble of love and above. Um, they're just not ready yet,
Mhm.
is what it is. It's not that you're
Yeah, they're kind
necessarily
of
like,
too victim in their victimhood and need to be cranky and upset and sorry for themselves. And so they don't want to go up there. They're not ready for that. They want to stay in their what I call in their lowest awareness state of probably the first chakra.
yeah,
So then, but the people that are kind of, maybe, but I'm kind of stressed out a little bit, but there would be open if you're around somebody that is a happier, easier going lucky person or a better frequency person, they would raise up and feel better. They could go either way. If they're around somebody cranky, they would go join them. But if they're with somebody there, they would raise up.
yeah. Oh, I love that. I love the whole visual of that. And I love the love and above. I'm going to use that. You're teaching me so much, Cindy. I love it.
That came from Christy Marie Sheldon. I can't take full credit.
Yeah, love and above. Yeah, that's really, really awesome. Well, I could certainly sit here and talk to you for a long time. But I want to leave you an opportunity to maybe leave folks with any final words of wisdom or anything that you wanted to share that we didn't get to talk about.
But, emotions are universal. Animals have them, humans have them. There's nothing unique about them other than the breadth of our vocabulary. And to me, emotions are just chemicals that the body creates to relate to an experience that we're having. And we can carry those emotions like baggage and we can clear it. And it's true with animals too, and it can create physical issues as well as behavioral issues. And by clearing those trapped emotions, we can help ourselves live a healthier life. Our animals can, our environment, our trees, our plants, everything carries these things. And it just goes around. More we can release, then we can now go find our soul purpose. And that's what I like to teach in my classes, in my individual sessions. And it's true for animals. And we can learn sometimes from our animals before we're ready to help ourselves. So I work with everybody. And you can find me at my website at yourenergyhealer.com. And you can try out my classes if you want. I have guided meditations you can try out. I offer a lot of different services to help you be your best self. And that to me is this world really needs us to be
Mm.
on our game and be the light. So be a part of the light and join. I'm glad you're joining these wonderful podcasts that Teri does because you're part of the light, and that's what we so desperately need.
Yes, beautiful. Well, thank you. So now what is your website and how do folks connect with you?
Yourenergyhealer.com.
Okay, you did say that. All right. Well, it has just been a joy. I've learned so much. Thank you for being here and shining your light in the beautiful work you do.
Thank you.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks for joining us today on the Healing Place podcast. And remember, until next time, be gentle with yourself. Thanks. Bye-bye. Hey, everybody. Teri Wellbrock here. Just wanted to thank you again for being a part of this healing space and my hashtag hope for healing journey. Thank you for sharing, liking, inviting others to join, listening in. You've really helped this show blossom. It has now been downloaded in 136 countries and is in the top 2% globally out of 3.2 million shows, which is just amazing. And it's all because of you and your tuning in and inviting others and sharing and liking and loving. And your reviews on Apple really help too. My goal is to hit 100 5-star reviews by the end of the year. And I am closing in on that. So if you are listening in on Apple, or Apple Podcasts, please go and rate the show and leave a review if you absolutely love it. And I would be most appreciative. Also, if you would like to receive my monthly Hope for Healing newsletter, please be sure to go to teriwellbrock.com. It's Teri, just one R, WELLBROCK.com. And I have a gift to send you for signing up for that monthly Hope for Healing newsletter. Plus, there are many other resources listed on that page, including a resource library. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.